Tony. By the way, we're live.
Heck yeah, we're live. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Need to go and share my crap. Oh, 1 second. Need to
We are
share the
in
stream.
London. It kind of dawned on me that in the Fallout universe, 9/11 wouldn't happen. Would it? Am I wrong?
Possibly. Okay. Well, what makes you think it wouldn't?
Well, because everybody would be hiding underground, and everybody would be.
No. Like it takes place like quite a distance in the future, as far as I'm aware. Fallout.
No, I
When the
thought it
bombs
was like
drop.
back in the 1950s. Everyone just went
No.
underground.
It
No.
is literally just that the entirety of the world just stayed in a 1950s aesthetic.
Oh.
They
Okay.
literally just decided that they really like the 1960s aesthetic, so the world just kept going that way.
That's dumb. That's dumb though. I thought it was that this was the Cold War and the
No,
Cold War was still going on and it just like
no.
went on until like the 90s or so, and
It's
that's
not
when the
even a Cold
nuclear
War with
fallout
Russia.
happened.
I don't even know what the fuck happened to Russia in the Fallout Law. It was with China.
What?
Yeah, it's
No,
with
this was with
China.
China and not Russia.
Yes,
Literally, the whole Cold War was about Russia, wasn't it?
but it's got nothing to do with the Cold War.
Excuse me.
Fallout has nothing to do with the Cold War. It is okay.
I thought that was what the whole
What
bunkers and the
year
vaults and all that
does
were
the
about.
bombs drop in Fallout 4?
Did
The
I have
Great
the
War
War
happened in
Fallout?
2077. The Great War is where the bombs
2077.
drop.
There was like no technological advancement in that
No,
time. It was
there
just
was. Like
the
they have
90s aesthetic.
crazy robots in power armor. It's just that they just culturally stopped for 100
Oh,
years. For
okay.
120 years to be accurate.
120 years. So 120 minus 2077 is. Hang on.
Okay. What? No. Okay. So it's a 1950s aesthetic, right?
Yes.
It's a 1950s aesthetic and culture in the year 2077.
Why would we do that?
Because it's just a different world. The way that so what happened is
That's like
that
cyber.
instead of like technology and changing, so nuclear power became the main resource. Everything became nuclear power. But the problem is that because everything was advancing so quickly and everything was going so well, the world's resources was consumed faster.
Okay. Interesting.
Fallout in many ways has advanced technology more advanced than we have, like crazy robots and crap, or laser beams.
So
But
they technologically advanced, but they didn't culturally go anywhere.
Yes, and the computers didn't advance that much either. Like they never invented an operating system.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I like that idea of like time standing still.
A second ago, you were saying it was fucking stupid.
Well, aesthetically, kinda. Like you would think that they'd build their own aesthetic off of like more than the 50s. But then again, I've seen
what it possibly could have been that the art style was designed before they actually established some of the lore.
Really?
Because a lot of the aesthetic is established by the first game, which I don't know if the first game all goes into details of the Great War.
Interesting.
I still want to play the first game. I need to do that.
It looks old, so I hear.
Fallout 1. When was it published? I think it's like the 90s. Yeah, the 1997.
Man, that was way back. Damn.
3 years before we were born.
A lot of people been old. Yeah, before we were even born.
3 years before we were born.
My first console was the Wii. What was your first console?
The original Xbox. Actually, no, that's a lie. The PlayStation 2.
Damn. We are not old. But anyway,
I remember as a kid playing Tekken on my mum's PlayStation 2.
oh
That was
yeah,
like crazy to me.
and you said you had a crush on that Brazilian chick.
That's in that's in later Tekken games. That's Christine Montero.
Yeah,
But the Native American woman, I think it's Michelle Chang. As a kid, I had a crush on her. Actually, June. I had a crush on June as well. June Kazama.
yeah.
Right,
Celestial
playing Fallout
Falcon is
London with Eerie. Post. There we go.
heck yeah. How's it going, Celestial Falcon? He says with his Nintendo 64 is his first console. Pathetic. That was your first console, bro? How old are you, man? You're
Maybe
old.
maybe my first console was actually PC. No, I don't think so. Well, anyway, it probably was just a PlayStation 1.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was playing tennis on the Wii.
I said sorry.
Celestial Falcon says he's only 26. That's 2 years older than the both of us.
What a fucking boomer.
Let's all laugh at how old Celestial Falcon is. His first console was the N64. I think actually my first was actually the Game Boy Advance.
I remember playing Mario 64 on because I ate at the nursery that my parents used to leave me at. They had games, and I remember watching some of the older kids play Mario,
Aww.
and I remember playing it. I always remember being absolute crap at it as a kid.
Yeah, well, so was I. I grew up when I was growing up. I used to
Oh, it was got a movie.
War.
war.
War never changes. Since the dawn of man, when tribes beat each other to death over necessities, the will to power has been the driving force of mankind. When the great fires of humanity's ambition ravaged the earth, it was not our doing, for the bloodiest chapter of human history had only begun. Britain was not spared the hellfire, and London, a monument to mankind's ambition, was returned to the state of nature. Those who emerged from the ashes did so from a network of underground bunkers known as Pindar stations. And so it was that the embers of civilization would ignite once again. Over a century later, through the military might of the
Battersea
Tories,
Power Plant,
an
obviously where all the
aristocratic
Cybermen are being
parliament
built.
continues to give order.
There's got to be
But
some
few
Doctor Who
are still
references in this.
listening.
Come on,
I hope there is. That would be
The
amazing.
gotta
Tory
be. Give us
its
at least a
column
police
rises.
box.
Training drums beat and uniforms march, all in the name of their dear leader, Eve Varney. Across the Thames, in the pastures of Richmond, a great army gathers strength. Styled on the Camelot knights of days past, they're headed once more unto the breach.
Dun, dun, dun.
For there are whispers of angels beneath this hallowed land, a curtain of illusion and intrigue, a puppeteer behind the scene. Only one thing is certain. Those who take the road to Westminster will be forever changed. Because in mankind's pursuit of power, there is no price too high, no life too valuable, and no ideal too sacred. Because war never changes.
War is evil.
Mind the gap. Mind the gap. Stand clear of the doors, please.
Hey, isn't that like the train announcer guy?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your body type? Male or male? What? Did you quit it?
Oh, I don't know. I just wanted to enlarge on the screen.
Oh, full screen. I see.
Male or female? Okay, let's go with woman now.
Subject performing adequately.
Why not have tits?
Oh, I thought you had to choose between these two like people in front of you.
No.
Perfectly usual.
Twice. Smythe will be pleased.
How are they in appearance?
Uncertain. Perhaps we should take a closer examination.
Examine my fist in your face.
Tyler Preston is in the chat. Good that you're streaming, Shiny. I needed a palate cleanser. Space Junk is also in the room. What's good, Space Junk?
A rapid progress is being made.
I think he does 40K lore videos on YouTube.
Of course. Now, what about their physical and mental development?
I think it's interesting that this game was even was it shown off by the BBC.
So what was shown off by BBC?
This game was reported by the BBC.
No,
They spoke about it. Look it up. BBC Fallout London.
That's freaking cool. Hang on. BBC Fallout London. They did?
Perception.
That's so cool.
I know in the early game I'm going to be using a lot of knives. I need strength. Perception. I don't need weapon accuracy, but health is quite important, and stealth. Don't use that's that much. So I guess health's better to have.
I like these little animations here. Aren't they supposed to be with the vault guy?
Well, no, but they've been replaced because then it's because of America being. So what happens in the Fallout universe is America becomes incredibly isolationist and invades Canada.
Sounds like something we'd do.
Yeah, so basically America just goes, fuck the world. I want all of Canada's oil fields, and just invades Canada. And then the clip from the beginning of Fallout where they kill, you see some soldiers killing a random civilian. That's actually in Canada, as far as I'm aware.
They were too nice. We stabbed them and they apologized. Sounds very Canadian.
Yeah. And as far as I'm aware, there's not that much on anywhere else outside of America and Fallout, but generally it just became very isolationist, invaded everyone's resources until China and America just blew themselves to pieces.
Yeah, that sounds characteristic.
So this is actually, even though it's not canon, it's the first game to actually explore outside of the Americas.
These are interesting traits. Acrobat, chemhead, gifted.
You know, but before this, do you know the furthest that Fallout had ever explored from America?
Where's that?
Alaska.
Oh.
There's an Alaska DLC in I think it's Fallout 3? Yeah. It's either Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. I think it's 3. Where there's a little simulation you can play, which is based on someone's fictional idea of Anchorage. It's a big battle that happened there where China tried to invade the oil.
I gotcha. Tyler Preston says, destroy Canada. Well, that would mean killing Smudboy. And hey, he could either yield or join us. Celestial Falcon says, I mean, yeah, I'd invade Canada. Hell yeah, I did. The Space Junk says, what kind of mod is... What game is this mod for? Fallout 4?
Yeah, it's Fallout 4. You need all the DLC for it, though.
Tyler Preston says, yeah, that would also mean getting rid of Justin Trudeau and Lily Orchard. Now, look, man, I was already convinced. You didn't need to... You didn't have to
Don't need to sell it to me.
Gentlemen, I trust everything is going well.
Anonymous, fuck,
Tremendously so.
ominous figure.
Ominous.
It may be
I don't know
our
why I'm
best
struggling with
work
words
yet.
today.
Good. The subject looks ready for conditioning. Within a week or so, we can wrap up phase 1.
This is only phase 1.
Anyway, yes. So
We
because
need
of American isolationism, what they've had to do is they've had to redesign a lot of things in this mod because there's it wouldn't make sense lore-wise for the Vault Boy to be in this game because there's why would there be there's no Vault Tech in the UK. The Vault Tech only
Oh.
exists in America.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's too American for you.
Yeah, so everything from the guns to the factions, like they have to all be utterly redesigned. I do wonder if they'll have any like suits, or what are they called now? Power suits.
Oh, I'm into this.
Is there a British power suit in this game? Because obviously they wouldn't be the American ones.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the Fallout lore. I've only gotten like a couple of shorts.
Well, you didn't even know that it was that it was based in
Not
the
in the
future,
base- Yeah,
not in the past,
didn't pick it up.
which is a pretty common knowledge thing. Like I'm not even that deep into the Fallout lore, and I knew that.
I thought it was an alternate history type of deal, like
It is
where
an
the
alternate
Cold
history.
War- Yeah, but like where we're still
No, but
in
like
the age of the
it's
Cold
not
War.
our future. It's an alternate history of how things evolved separately. So what happened is that things, again, the evolution of technology completely changed, so that it took more resources than we are currently taking.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a warning story of the idea of just kind of absorbing all the resources, like reckless resource use, because
So it's
the more
great use of
resources
propaganda.
America specifically became very gluttonous and just used as much resources as it could because it could. Why not? And so that they used up a lot of the resources much faster.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is cool.
Ooh, computer.
This is a model with its own animations and everything.
Yeah. What does it say?
Oh, I had to just hack at the door.
Oh, okay. It's funny how the scientist got shot and not you. Like you're just alive
You
and
can't
like
take that
he's,
while
like,
in combat. Hello, shrews.
you could punch the shrews. All
You can
right,
punch the shrew. These are
eat it.
these are unique enemies. Rad shrews. I guess they're replacing the rad roaches. What do you mean combat? What am I in combat with?
We're fighting now.
Oh, wait, were these in the cages and I accidentally opened the cages? Oopsie.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if this is implying that they remade their own Vault Boy. Sorry, a little Vault thing.
Little
Not
vault
Boy.
avatar.
I forgot what they're called now. The wrist devices.
Oh,
Fuck.
oh, the wrist devices.
Pip-Boy.
I've seen them.
This is that. I wonder if they're implying that they reverse engineered a Pip-Boy because they've got some Pip-Boys there.
Yeah, Pip-Boy, Pip-Boys.
Don't need a utility belt. Thank you. Yeah, Pip-Boy.
Tyler Preston says, if there's a British mod for Fallout, I wonder. Searches for Japanese mod. Yes, he found a Japanese mod of this. That's pretty cool.
Wait, is there really?
Yeah, I mean that's what Tyler Preston says. I totally believe a random commenter in the chat because the chat is omniscient, you know?
It's like a little cartridge you have to blow in.
Yeah, like a Nintendo cartridge.
But that's really cool the way that they use it, because the Pip-Boy you have to like take out and put a little thing to plug in, and that is his own little thing. You just take it out, you put it in. Attaboy. That's kind of cool. It's called an Attaboy.
An attaboy. That's so cute.
Hello, dead person.
Can you take his stuff? Take his stuff.
Yeah, I can take his stuff, but he's just got random crap. It's not worth anything.
You could blend in.
I'll take the machine gun rounds.
You can act like you're one of them.
Uh-oh.
You're more useless than a fucked cloak? What does that mean?
Well, who knows what people say half the time.
Especially in Britain, you know?
Every time my phone vibrates, I'm like, oh, is this my boss telling me I'm going into work tomorrow? It's like, nope, no, it's just a random fucking email. You think they could be a little bit more useful, you know? Like, hey, I don't know if you'll be working tomorrow. Oh, could you actually, like, fucking tell me? What? Why? Can you not?
Being a part-timer. Not knowing when you're going to
Like,
work.
if I don't go in tomorrow because you didn't tell me to come in tomorrow, it's like, don't look at me. And I got the feeling that he's not going to tell me. They could still open the shop tomorrow, and they'll be like, he won't tell me.
Celestial Falcon says, already too many bullets for London. I need to see more knives, lol.
Don't worry, I know already. Let me get a knife.
Well,
That ain't a knife. This is a knife.
a knife.
Where are you going?
Crocodile Dundee
I
reference.
doubt you'll make it far, someone such as yourself. You were more useful as a lab rat.
Thank you.
But alas, it seems I'm not long for this world. It's a shame, really. There was so much I wanted to do.
This guy's really calm in the face of burning to
Off you
death.
go, then. He's seeing you.
What's happening?
Oh, the cell he's in is being decontaminated, so he's gonna get burnt alive.
Oh, jeez.
I'll be seeing you.
In the afterlife. Ooh. Spoopy. So you get a little Attaboy cartridge. That's adorable.
Got
It's
a
kind
lot of loading screens hidden in elevators.
Oh, that's clever.
It gets annoying, especially when loading screens are really fucking long.
Oh, yeah.
The little jingle.
You are quite the wayfarer, aren't you? Escaping
Yo,
that hubbub.
this guy's cool. I like his art style.
Through, I'm impressed. It seems I neglected to introduce myself.
Everyone talks really damn slow. I gotta
Very unprofessional.
It's unrealistic for British people.
I am Mr. Smythe,
I am Mr. Smythe.
and you, well, it doesn't
So just imagining Sympathy for the Devil start playing. Allow me to introduce
matter.
myself.
I'm sure you have many questions.
I'm a man of wealth and taste. I get PTSD flashbacks every time I hear that fucking song. There's so many trailers. Like it's been used in so many trailers. It's insane. It's so creatively fucking bankrupt. It's been in for the Indiana Jones film. I believe it was used for Suicide Squad. Like so many fucking trailers
And remember,
just use Sympathy for the Devil, and it bothers me so much. And I don't know why no one else mentions it.
What's it called?
Sympathy for the Devil. You never heard of it?
No. Well, maybe
Really?
I have, but like I'm having a brain fart right now. But you know,
It's allow me to
Introduce everyone.
introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. Long, long years.
let me look it up real fast. Sympathy for the Devil. Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Hang on, just play it. I get an ad. I'm on Opera. I shouldn't be getting ads.
Yeah, I think my ad block has completely stopped working because even on other sites, it's pretty fucked.
Yeah. I think it's
But
because
even
YouTube has been doing that thing where it'll slow you down if you have an ad blocker on purpose.
Mm.
Not just slow you down, but like if they sense you have an ad blocker,
Yeah,
they'll
you
make
know
a
what
buffer.
makes me really like a company when they act really shittily and just start like being fucking strange. It's like, no, you can't. We're gonna show you like 2 minutes of ads, and you have no option to skip it. No, don't go
Oh
over
yeah.
there and what's it? Use an ad block.
Oh yeah. It's real funky. It's real fun.
I used to feel pretty comfortable the idea of using ad block and then just occasionally buying something from creators I liked because that gives them, ironically, far more money.
Yeah, I agree.
But I really fucking hate watching ads, especially like the ads now that YouTube has takes the fucking cake.
Oh yeah. I always get the same freaking Amazon ad. It's like for Amazon. Why
I
would
don't
you
know if
need
it's an
an ad
autistic
for
thing,
Amazon?
but I really fucking hate ads that like repeat a lot.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like it really gets on my nerves.
Oh yeah. Do you have any idea how many times like I'll be watching a religious video and freaking Jonathan Rumy's like, "Hey, can you take a minute to pray with me?" And I'm like, "No, I'm trying to watch the video." Stop.
I've seen that ad.
Oh yeah, or Mark Wahlberg, because Mark Wahlberg is Catholic now. He's like, "Hey, would you like? I'm just gonna read some scripture. Why don't you?"
Hey, so I'm Mark Wahlberg. I punched a Vietnamese man's eyes out. I'm
What?
Marky Mark.
No. I'm like, just let me watch my video. Damn.
How? Oh yeah, Mark Wahlberg. I remember when you were young. You think everyone's forgotten about that, haven't you?
Oh yeah. I've also had an ad for this Bible app, which the ad basically goes, this guy in his head, it's like a voiceover, and he's like, "In the beginning, God made the heavens and the earth." And then he gets interrupted and he's like, "Hey, do you hate hearing the voice in your head when you read the Bible? Here, listen to another guy's voice with this app." And it's like, that's so dumb. Like, just what if I like hearing my voice in my head when I read the Bible? Piss off. I mean, I get it. These people gotta make money. They gotta get
Basically,
it out
a Bible
somehow.
audiobook at that point, ain't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, bad idea, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a Bible audiobook. Yeah, I've been, to be quite honest, I have been listening to Bible audiobooks. It's pretty interesting. There are a lot that are like dramatized. There are a lot that are like, the basic audiobook types. But yeah, can be pretty useful. But at the same time, I don't want to have to pay for it. That's the drawback. I could just take the Bible from my shelf for free and read that.
Do you know what always plays in my head whenever I see Mark Wahlberg?
What's that?
It's so when he did his gym workout video, when everyone was doing workout tapes in the 80s, like he did one, and like I saw JonTron talk about it, and it's that one moment where during his workout tape that he just stares down the tits of his workout partner.
What? Really?
Yeah, he just does that. He it's this woman who's working out. So he's doing a little workout tape, and he's got this really attractive lass that's doing his workout with him, and she's obviously wearing a sports bra and really tight like gym shorts and whatnot. And they both kind of lean forwards as they start pulling up weights towards them, like like bend over, and like so they're both their torsos are at an angle, and his eyes just stare directly down her tits.
Oh my god!
Shamelessly.
He don't care. He's a superstar. He's a movie star.
Hey, there's Tower Bridge in low poly glory. Oh, laggy.
Oh boy.
Something's loading.
I've been
Hey,
missing.
there's a HSBC tower, Canary Wharf.
Oh, that's cool.
You can expect delays and revisions. The timetables
I missed some not super chats, some chats. Tyler Preston says I found Nicolas Cage movie with the same name. Sorry, that was a while back. I don't know what that's referencing. Celestial Falcon says that you.
Houseboats.
Oh, houseboats. Oh, houseboats are so cool, man. You
There's
know, I
such
grew.
a weird like British thing, and some places in Europe where
Oh,
like they
yeah.
still have canals.
Celestial Falcon says I use the Brave browser and I don't get an issue. I think he means with ads or anything.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that title screen. That's awesome. Tyler Preston says playthrough of Coffin of Andy and Lele when. No, thank. I know what you're talking about, man. Nice try. We're not playing the Coffin of Andy and Lele. Unless. What if we hit a certain like super chat amount and then like we play the Coffin of Andy and Lele? What if we like
What is
took
it?
quests? It's really cursed. The Coffin of Andy and Lele.
No, we're not doing super chats to do that. We're just playing whatever we want to play and have a nice relaxing time.
Yeah, okay. That sounds good.
I am playing some with stream. It's for relaxing and chilling and having a nice time. Not playing really weird and creepy shit. Unless it's Halloween, in which I'll probably play Alien.
Yeah. The Coffin of Andy and Lele, however, got into a bit of a controversy on Twitter because the main characters are siblings.
Oh,
And there's some Alabama action going on. Oh no, what happened?
I think the game crashed.
No!
Literally, just as the actual game was starting outside. Don't you play through the opening again? That's like half an hour we're not getting back.
Oh man, it's gonna set us back all the way?
Possibly.
Son of a bitch. Darn it. Man, I love like the creepy looking PSA type things. It just feels so. It feels
okay.
so.
So we're at the train again. So it has saved there.
Oh, thank God! All right, cool.
Bethesda, fix your fucking game engine.
Tyler Preston says he cursed it by bringing up Andy and Lele. Yep. Andrew Sims is in the chat. What's good, man? Celestial Falcon, you were a sick F talking about knives like that. And although being American, I expect it.
What?
He says,
I'm
Celestial Falcon,
confused.
you are a sick F for talking about knives like that, unless of the racist comments. Though being American, I should expect it. Your grammar's weird, brah. I don't know if you mean it or not. The Copper Owl is in the chat. What's good, man? He says the Alabama action was a dream sequence and a bad ending, but people still complained. Oh, was it? I didn't look too far into Andy and Lele, and I just thought, wow, this is what the game's about. That's amazing. That's ballsy.
Game about incest.
But yeah, apparently that's the bad ending, and it was in a dream, and it wasn't real. But it was still weird that someone would dream of doing it with their relative. That's freaking weird.
And clear of the doors, please. Maybe I should have lowered the settings a bit.
Maybe, because it's laggy a bit.
It's loading, yeah, weirdly. I think by default everything goes to fucking super high.
Because they want to make sure that you appreciate it and all of its.
Well, I think it's automatically detecting my 2070 Super graphics card. I still need to get that replaced at some point.
You and your computer knowledge.
I think it's The
Kinda
only
high.
issue it's probably having is the read-write speed of the game.
I see.
That's
I
what the
see.
lag is. Because it has to load everything into memory, so it's like, oh, there's something I need to load here. Sorry, gotta pause.
What'd you say?
Well, the game, every time it lags, it's like it's trying to load something into memory, and it's like, oh, sorry, I need to load something, I need to unload something, just give me a moment.
Okay, okay. Tyler Preston says it has cannibalism and the occult, but the incest is what got the internet's panties in a knot. Look, Sin, it's called The Coffin of Andy and Lele. You'd expect it to be kind of spooky. So, spooky stuff has some spooky things in it. Cannibalism and the occult, they do be spooky. But incest? I mean, like, I don't know how spooky that is. That's just weird, you know? I can see it. It ain't spooky though.
Tell you what,
Necrophilia would be spooky. But
if
like
I
we're
get
not talking about that. Go ahead.
that job in visual effects, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade my computer because I'm so sick of my 2070 Super. It's only got 4 gigabytes of video memory. It's really fucking annoying, especially when I'm trying to do anything outside of just playing games. Like if I want to record or like render a video, that video memory is what really holds it back.
Oh, I see. You built your computer from bits and pieces. That's crazy.
But that's not that crazy. It's a very common thing people do.
Not anybody that I know, brother.
Yeah, that's because everyone that you know are idiots. They're all boomers.
Okay. And I have a laptop. That's the best I have.
Okay, so we have our target, our goal. I want to go to the map. So this seems to be a pretty big portion of London, and I'm gonna see if I can locate double negative in all this,
Mm-hmm.
or the double negative building. Okay, so
Where would it be?
I'm trying to work it out. So I think going off of, I think this is the Tower of London. No, that's a bit too far for the Tower of London.
Well, how about this? How about you walk to some landmark, and then from the landmark that you would know the direction of where the studio is, then check the map. What do you think?
No, that might be. So I'm trying, because there are some very similar things on the map compared to this. This I think is Tower Bridge, because it's even got a gap in it. That's the Tower Bridge. That's London Bridge, it seems. And this, I think, is the Millennium Bridge. So I think I want to make my way here. So
I see.
So here. So this is where I think I need to go. And then it seems like double negative would be somewhere around here. At least I think so. The streets look different on the map compared to the real map.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a go. So, okay, so yeah, fuck the story. Let's just go and find a visual effects house in an alternate universe. Because I would totally just add like bits and pieces from real life in this game.
Hey, I did.
Bloody hell, what was that? Sounded painful if you
You know the original developers of
I swear
no, it's not the original. I think it's in Fallout 3. I think in the place where the Bethesda office is, they actually put the Bethesda office in Fallout.
Well.
The professor office?
No,
You made
the
it up.
Bethesda. So okay,
Oh, the Bethesda office.
made
Okay.
Fallout 3.
Never had a
They
crack
bought the
at
rights
you.
for Fallout from Interplay, which were the original developers.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that Bethesda built their studio in Fallout 3.
That's
There's a ruin
cool.
that you can find.
Of course. Winston.
That's fun.
Enjoy.
Oi, bruv.
I'm in a right state. I be look in the mirror. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Shut it. Now Johnny can't play. Name's Gaunt. Sebastian Gaunt.
Gaunt.
And these dredges are Chill Winston and Johnny Shrapnel.
Shrapnel.
Johnny. We're the vagabonds.
We're the roughest, toughest, sharpest gang round these parts. Not like the dogs.
Snuff it, Johnny. Don't scare away our new acquaintance. So, who are
I mean,
you?
for some rough, tough boys, like, you'd think they'd just fight you right off the jump, but they seem pretty chill.
Only the gentry use those trains. Looks like you're the wayfarer now, like the rest of us. Yeah, well, you don't look like it.
Do you want to read them out before you click them?
Oh.
Supposed to be a supply run.
We bought the location off someone in Thameshaven. Some old construction papers.
I need a doctor.
Wayfarer. Seems like you got two choices. You could head down that way to the Thames folk. Ain't exactly pleasant to look at, but appearances can be deceiving. They may even know what
Random bird that just flew into the shot.
as the location. Otherwise, you can stick it out with me and my mates. We help you out, you help us out.
Let's go with Thameshaven.
Well. Suppose I'll just bandage me feelings. But I wish you luck with the Thames folk, wayfarer. Head north to the Prilladog food factory. They can give you directions. Here, take this for the road. Its best days are behind it.
Knife.
Woo!
Knife
Knife!
acquired.
Butterfly knife.
The Bale song. It's seen better days in Old Blighty, but nothing with a sharp eye. Nothing a sharp eye blacksmith can work out. 15 damage.
You could deal 15 damage.
Yeah, actually, it's even more because I've got the strength.
Woo!
I've reached level 2.
Celestial Falcon says Bethesda used to be such a fun company where the bugs were endearing and the games were still great around it. Now, woof. A lot of things have gotten worse nowadays, haven't they?
Yeah.
Or is it just our nostalgic glasses getting in the way?
I think Bethesda's always been a bit shit.
Nah. I want to see these animations. Can we see these animations?
Okay, we can see the little animations. Okay, Lady Killer. Oh.
Oh, not in the good way or the fun way.
Oh, you deal 10% more damage to the opposite sex and unique dialogue for certain characters.
Okay.
Lady Killer, why not?
What? Okay. Wonder what the female version of that is. Is it the man eater?
It's Black Widow. Oh.
Oh.
And
Ah.
it crashed again.
Once again, you might want
Fuck's
to
sake,
lower the.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I'll try that. No, that's Subnautica. I don't want to launch Subnautica.
Celestial Falcon says, "Nah, I still play Skyrim from time to time, and I still love playing it. I've seen a bit of Skyrim, like Elder Scrolls, like the actual good. I don't think Elder Scrolls is the good one. Which one's the bad one, and which one's the good one? What's the one that everyone loves versus the one that everyone absolutely
Skyrim.
hates?
Elder Scrolls is like the title brand, and Skyrim is like the one, like the game, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So there's Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Online. There's I've barely even played Skyrim, so I don't know.
I know that there's one Skyrim that everybody hates because the AI, because everything about it is so jank, and it was like made by like a
Morrowind.
Morrowind.
I think so.
Celestial Falcon, could you help us out? Which is the one that everybody hates because it's so jank? I don't know why I keep thinking Andromeda. That's Mass Effect, not Skyrim. But anyway,
I
Copper
actually
Owl
just feel the need to
says-
hate.
Huh?
I also feel the need just to hate on Skyrim for no reason. Not on Skyrim, Andromeda.
Andromeda. My brain's like, Andromeda faces are jank as hell. Oh.
Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with all of this.
Oh, it's frozen on your end too?
What do you mean it's frozen on my end? What?
It's frozen on my end.
Is it?
Oh, is it loading?
How do you? Yeah, it's a loading screen.
Oh, it's a loading screen. Oh my gosh. Celestial
What-
Falcon says Morrowind was held in high regard, but very old. Oblivion was very beloved, as well as Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Online was lame. I think what you're thinking of, Eerie, is Fallout 76. I've heard of Fallout 76. I don't think that's what I was thinking of.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong.
This is a long loading screen. Damn.
I love that in Fallout 76, like it was pretty jank. I never even played it, but I find it quite hilarious. Oh, it didn't like that.
Ah, again. Okay.
Maybe it was the
no.
area I was trying to go into that I didn't like.
Can you report bugs?
Possibly.
Yeah. Nemo Incognito's in the house. What's good? He says, howdy ho, Shiny. We just tried to play Fallout London, but it doesn't like us for some reason. We got through the intro. Come again?
Keeps crashing.
Yeah, it keeps crashing.
I tried lowering the resolution, see if that helps.
Okay.
Okay, so don't walk in that direction, walk in the opposite direction, and maybe it'll be more stable.
Celestial Falcon says, the NPC meme might be right regarding Oblivion then. Oh, I think it was Oblivion! Yeah!
Must
Then
have been the wind. I think
Yeah.
Skyrim NPCs are still pretty meme to death. Because
Oh, yeah.
you can... you can creep up on someone, use a big dragon shout or whatever the fuck it's called, and send them flying across the fucking room. But then they'll hit their head against a tree and they'll fall down. They'll stand back up, and they'll say, "Must have been the wind."
Oh, it must have been the winds. Yeah, I've seen that meme. Oblivion then, so you got the Oblivion NPC meme where people IRL would talk nonsensical and play the Oblivion music would play in the background. Yeah, I remember those memes when people would try to do that in real life. That was fun.
I think in
there's
Oblivion as well, I remember people talking about how there was voice recording lines that had never been edited.
Oh yeah, I've seen
So
those.
what happened was a random woman was recording her lines and said they hit the thingy and the church all in the same night, and then it's, oh sorry, I didn't do that very well. Let me try that again.
That's right. Oh man. So yeah, so there were a lot of bugs in it, and it's just a meme at this point. I remember there were at least 2 voice lines that were like that, where they didn't edit it. Celestial Falcon must have been the wind. Oh, did someone steal your sweet roll? I was once an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow into the knee. I remember this.
Do you know what that an arrow to the knee means?
Yeah, it was like I've lost it. I know
An arrow
I've
to the
seen it.
knee means that you got married.
Oh,
So
you mean the scene? I thought you meant the
Yes.
scene where it shows. It's like, you know.
No. So that the saying took an arrow to the knee. What's fancy tricks this guy's doing? Look at that.
Oh, ooh, that was fancy.
That's
Look
a
at
cool
that.
little animation.
That's fun.
Yeah, so really what they're saying is that I used to be an adventurer and then I got married.
How'd you figure that out?
There's so many, because that's just what arrow to the knee means.
How do you know that's what that means?
Because someone told me.
I thought he means he literally got injured.
But that's the thing, because not many people know its meaning. A lot of people just must assume that there's some arrow wielding maniac just going around kneecapping people.
I thought he like got kneecapped in war or something like that, like a stray arrow in the knee. But hey, I mean, that's a better story that he got married than get a real arrow to the knee, you know?
Yeah. Station.
Goes from an unfortunate circumstance to, the way it's phrased makes it sound like an unfortunate circumstance. So
That's because, well, you've never seen a married man, obviously.
I have. Oh man. But you know what's even sadder?
What's sadder?
Old
come on.
Oh. Damn. Damn it.
Look, there's a fix for this, maybe. I'll check up on their Discord.
All right. So yeah, I've seen some old bachelors. Like where I work, I get a lot of customers all the time. But you could tell who are married and who are old bachelors. Like still, like either divorced or still single their whole lives. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Without even asking, I can tell who it is. Because they'll come in and it's like they're so like unkempt that you could tell that's like you don't really care for yourself anymore, do you, buddy? You know? So what's the Discord saying?
Well, I haven't. You got to look through the solutions first. Quick fixes when you're loading in the main menu. Potential fixes. Downgrading, reverting for downgrade issues. Widescreen fixes.
I love technical difficulties in the middle of a stream.
Yeah, that's always fun.
It's so fun. Oh, by the way, chat, I'm sorry. I wanted to. Can y'all tell me if I'm too loud? Like if my microphone is too loud? Because sometimes it looks like it'll be blasting, but other times it'll
sound
look like
fine.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're not listening to the stream itself, so I'm not sure if like I'm good volume or if I should adjust it. All right. Nemo Incognito says it sounds fine. Great. Awesome.
Okay, see if this works. It might be that I'm trying to play it in 10K, 4K with.
Damn, that is higher resolution than it's possible.
What 4K? It's possible to get a 10K image. There are places that sell 8K monitors.
Really? That's crazy.
It's not crazy. It's just showing more pixels in an image. Okay, I don't think I want to do that. Okay, so for some reason, Fallout, you can. Why isn't it letting me? So you can turn off full screen mode. You can go windowed, but if you do that, for some strange reason, there's no option in the resolutions to go higher than 1920, which means that you have a little corner in the screen of where your window is.
Is it 1920 by 1080p?
Yes, because that's always a little corner of the window. Maybe I can change the resolution of my screen, and that would work.
Okay.
Let me just settings. Always love that when you have to fix a game by going into your settings and lowering the resolution of your 4K monitor.
Yep. Editron is in the chat. What's good, man? He says, "Oh yeah, crashing isn't fun. I had to download a buff out Fallout 4 mod to stop the crashes." A buff out Fallout 4 mod. Would that help, Shiny?
I think. I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, Editron, do you know where that is?
What? Okay, so I've lowered my screen resolution to 1920 by 1080, thinking,
Mhm.
okay, well, at least I can go in the borderless and windowed mode. When I fucking do that, it removes the option to go with the resolution. Okay, look at this. Look at this. This is insane.
All right, let me see. Let me see.
Look at this. It is removed for some reason the option to go to 1080.
Oh,
What? This is just a Fallout 4 option. What the fuck's happening?
that's funky.
And it gives me the option here.
Uh-huh.
But in windowed mode, it's like, nah. How about you go fuck yourself? What the fuck is going on? Fallout, why are you so crap?
Oh,
It was bad enough trying to play the Fallout 4 VR game.
man.
That is a broken piece of crap as well.
Oof. Yeah, so Celestial Falcon takes a deep breath. Boy.
It's like, what okay, look, I'm going to go back. I'm going to change my resolution.
Okay.
Right, and then it'll show me the option to go to 1080p again, I swear. Keep changes. Go back.
Give me 1 second. I just need to turn on the AC real fast.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. All right, let me see.
Look, give me the option for 1080p.
Uh-huh. What?
Why does it only give me the option for 1080p when the screen monitor is 4K? It doesn't even give me option above 1080p. What is? Fuck's sake! This is insane.
My gosh.
Okay,
This is a fan-made game, right? This isn't Bethesda, so...
No, this isn't Bethesda. But the thing is, though, is that it's built on Bethesda's work.
Right.
So, like, the problems that I'm having with Fallout 4 are the problems of Bethesda. It's not the mod makers.
Oh, yeah. That's funky. That's real funky. But what's his name? Editron mentioned a buff out for Fallout 4. I don't know what a buff out is, but
well, I think I assume he's talking about so famously, all of Bethesda's games, they're buggy messes. So what the community often have to do if they have to go in and manually mod it to fix the game. There's actually a constant issue that happens with Fallout 4 if you have the high resolution texture DLC, in which it has a texture issue where it will just make your character's face black.
Oh, unintentional racism. We love to see it.
So the rest of your body will be white, but the face for some reason will just be black for no reason.
Wow.
And
with the lips be red too?
With if you have a mod, and that's still a problem to this day, that requires like mods to go in and fix it.
Nice. That's insane.
Okay,
Would it give you red lips and a top hat? Would it give you red lips and a top hat and make you dance around? That's terribly racist. You get it?
I got it. No, I don't want to upload a fucking file. No,
I thought he
fuck
face
off.
palmed at my terrible joke. Give me 1 second.
When all you want to do is play a game. Let me play you.
When your game won't work like it used to before.
Okay, so let's continue. Maybe this will help.
This will work. Yeah.
All I've done is change the resolution of my screen and have to leave it in full screen, but I don't know if I don't think it'll make any changes, but who knows.
Fingers crossed, everybody. Pray. Pray, pray, pray. These loading screens, they do be pretty long. They are very long. We're going to be
Want
at the
to
next
prevent
screen.
enemies from fleeing, cripple their legs. Kneecap them with a bow and arrow.
Killing stalking reference. Oh, shot in the knee with an arrow. Took an arrow to the knee, my bad. Okay, look at that.
Okay, we're back where we were.
Wow.
Fuck's sake.
Jinxed it.
I just want to play Fallout. I want to play Fallout London. It's literally all I fucking want to do.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Buff out Fallout 4. I think it's actually Fallout London that's creating the issue. I don't think Fallout 4 is going to make any fixes for that. Where's the music gone? If you're having issues with your settlers not functioning, if you're having issues after tabbing out, the resolution changes greatly. If you're booting up the Steam version, hoping for the black screen. If you've installed the buff out mod and still get consistent crashes, check your okay. So
what's it say?
So there's I'm seeing the same suggestion here that if you've installed the buff out mod and still get crashes, I assume there is a buff out mod. Here it is, Fallout 4 buff out. Please install this mod if you're having crash issues. Okay.
Yeah. See if that works.
Nexus mod manager. This requires fuck's sake.
What's wrong?
This requires Fallout 4 script extender, address library for Fallout plugins, and crap.
You need you need the game Fallout 4?
No, I've got the game Fallout 4.
And you need some script extension?
Yeah, it's basically a modding API.
Okay.
Mod manager, Fallout 4 buff out has been added. But that also requires the plugin thingy madoohickey, which I'll have to go to get now. Preloader, which requires Visual CC+.
What?
You
need C++?
Fuck it. I'm not going to install C. I'll assume I already have the right C++. I'm not. So and Fallout script extender, which I don't know if I have or not already. Fallout 4 script extender. No, I don't. So let's just go with that.
Huh.
There we go.
See, guys, this is why I love him. He knows what he's doing.
That's a lie. I just pretend to.
Me, I'd be so lost. I have no idea what I'd be doing.
You get lost in Stardew Valley. Like, that's not an achievement.
Look, man, I went through an ordeal trying to get my grandma's SD card to format to FAT32, okay? That was an ordeal, but I bet Shiny would have done it in 2 seconds. You know? I don't doubt his abilities. He can build a computer. That's impressive in my book.
That's not impressive.
Yes, it is!
No, it ain't.
You can build a computer.
Okay, plugin, script extender. Okay, well, address library for Fallout.
He can build computers. He can modify computers. He taught me how to pirate stuff.
Okay, basically, if you can put together a jigsaw, you can put together a computer. It is very simple in the idea that it's literally just putting things in the place where things are supposed to go. And it's very obvious because all the items, like, they have these little slots that only go in those slots.
Yeah.
you can't accidentally plug your CPU into your RAM because they're not even the same shape.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. But you would know what kind of RAM to get. And
Not
what companies are good
necessarily.
versus what's not.
Not necessarily.
No?
Like I'm not that deep into the part checking thing. I often have to go around with friends and just say, "All right, so last time I built my computer, I was going around a few friends I knew and just saying like, do you recommend any parts? So I recommend this part, and it's like, okay, well let's build backwards with this one and see what happens."
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
how you learn.
so launch Fallout 4.
I grew up homeschooled. Do you think I grew up with computers and shiz? I wasn't allowed to use Google till I was 16 years old. I was like, Google, how do you use that?
Google, how do I hail Satan?
How do I what?
Google, how do I hail Satan?
Now I depend on Google for everything, even my insecurities. Hey, Google, what am I feeling today? Why am I feeling this way? And Google never asks questions. You know, Google doesn't ask questions back. It's always one way.
Hey Google, my boyfriend keeps making innuendos about this topic. What does this mean?
What does this mean? What does it mean that he likes you? What does it mean, Google? Google.
Like Moss in IT crowd. It's like, how do you guys survive in else? How do you guys? Don't Google the question, Moss!
Yeah, that's me. I Google everything. And then you go through Google rabbit holes, you know, that's always fun. Today I went down the rabbit hole of like a freaking lost gospel that was lost to time until like the 1800s or like the 1900s, around that. And I read the whole thing and I'm like, wow, that's something. And that's Google. Google can get you any information. I feel like I have like information addiction almost. I don't know if it could be classified
Oh wow,
as addiction.
the game. I was about to say the game's running like much smoother than it was before.
Knock on wood! Knock on wood! Knock on wood! Knock
Though
on
I am
wood.
noticing that the my mouse is much larger on the screen than it was before.
Don't complain now, or else it'll jinx
That
you.
is gonna get. I assume that's gonna get very annoying.
It's gonna make you eat your words.
Okay, so can I hide my
I mean,
mouse?
literally, the worst it does is crash. Fuck.
No,
Did it
no,
crash?
no, that's not crashing. I'm trying to hide
Oh.
my mouse because I know how difficult that or how annoying that gets for people. So I'm trying to. Resolution, landscape, portrait, avatars, animate avatars.
Anime avatars?
No, animate avatars.
Oh, okay.
Virtual backgrounds, recording,
Fallout London, anime edition.
hotkeys.
It's so good. I annoyed myself with that.
Okay, change the UI to be smaller, and maybe that'll do better. I don't know.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
I'm the kind of guy who will never mess around. Around. Nope, it's still
Now he
there
has
and
two
it's
of them.
still annoying. Oh well.
Oh well, we'll
Okay,
have to live
so
with annoyance.
let's keep going to wait, where am I? That's kind of annoying because I I don't know where it saved. Oh, that's the crash hut. That's the
Did it crash?
Yes.
Oh no!
I saw it. I crash every time I go near there. Oh no! I'm heading towards it. No.
Yeah, you might want to let the boys on the Discord know.
Hey, yeah, so your game keeps crashing no matter what the fuck I do. All right, so how
But
about
like
this?
specifically when you get into this one spot.
But it's also just generally happening anyway. The crashes. Okay, I'm gonna go into Discord. I'm gonna see if buff up mod. If you're still crashing, okay. If you've installed buffer mod but still get constant crashes, check your crash log. If you see this anywhere in the text, download this mod to fix your crashes. If you have an NVIDIA G, okay, well let's try that because I have an NVIDIA GPU.
Okay. This is fun, guys. Are we having fun, boys? Woo! Let's go, chat. Chat's popping off right now. They're big fans of this. Wow, look at that. I'm being super sarcastic.
Thrilling entertainment.
Thanks, Fallout London. We really appreciate all the effort you put into it. If only we could enjoy it. This is where we would put Fallout if we had one.
I got that reference even though I've never seen it. That's Fairly Odd Parents, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Fairly Odd Parents. And this is where I'd put my trophies, if I had any. I actually don't know what the original is, because it's been memed so much. I think it's trophies. Tyler Preston says, have any of you two seen The Owl House? It's actually a good show. I've heard about The Owl House. Like, the animation looks pretty solid, but, like, the character designs, I'm not a big fan of. It looks a little bit too Cal artsy for my taste. I don't like Luz's annoying lip. She's got an annoying lip. It looks annoying. And the models kind of look the same. It just never appealed to me. That's all. You know. But it's cool. If you like it, dude, good on you. I'm actually jealous.
If you like it, why don't you kill yourself?
No. If someone likes a thing that I either have no taste for, hate, or just don't like, I'm actually a bit jealous because they're getting joy from something that I'm not, you know? And that's
I'm not
okay.
jealous of people who have smaller brains. See, I don't think things, and that gives me big brain.
Celestial Falcon says, quick, sing My Shiny Teeth in Me. Oh my gosh. My shiny teeth that sparkles, my shiny teeth that shine. I don't know how it goes exactly. My shiny teeth and me. Do, 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 do. That's all I know about it. Tyler Preston says Gravity Falls also has the CalArt style, but the story is top notch. Even LD is a fan of it. Oh yeah, I've actually tried to get a bit into Gravity Falls. I got to episode 2, but then I stopped because I'm like,
you know the guy that created Gravity Falls went to the same school as the guy that made Rick and Morty.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
They even made Easter eggs in their shows, but they kind of felt that idea fell apart for some reason.
One thing I will give Gravity Falls, though, the characters don't look the same. Like, they don't look the same. Like, Grunkle Stan doesn't look like the twins. The twins don't even look like each other. And, like, all the characters look very distinct. And just, even Bill Cipher looks very different. He doesn't look like a run-of-the-mill monster. Nobody looks run-of-the-mill at all. Meanwhile, the characters of Owl House, Luz, that other one, the witch lady, all the other characters that people care about for some reason, they just kind of have the same model. It just never appealed to me.
Instant crash.
Love that. Love it.
Okay, if you're having issues with the settlers, if you're having this, if you're tapping out, if you're booting up Steam, if you see low translucent.nif, your Fallout 4 is bricked, reinstall it. If you see BSG combined cell geometry, this is a previd crash. It is simply something we have to patch. Please send us the crash log. Okay, I'll see if I can find the crash log.
Okay.
Maybe it will tell me something.
You would know how to do this.
Where the fuck would I find the crash log?
So yeah, we're having a great time. This is the technical difficulty stream with Fallout not New Vegas, Fallout London. We should definitely like replace the title and then replace the thumbnail. It's just like the technical difficulty stream, the struggle stream. How are you, my fellow strugglers?
Where are Fallout London crash files? Maybe there's been Fallout. I don't know. Downgrader, run the downgrader, install on a fresh unmodded version of Fallout 4. Access the library plugins. You got that.
This is fun. As a matter of fact, we're gonna make it even more fun because next time we stream, I'm planning to play the Berserk PSP game. Is it PSP? I don't remember. A PlayStation game. Mark the Cyborg actually gave me the files to it, and I really want to play it. And apparently, it has not been translated over into America, so it had to be fan subs essentially. The dubs are still in Japanese, but I really want to play the Berserk video game.
My games Fallout. Please submit crash logs only. Crash logs must be updated with the log extension. In other words, simply drag and drop logs from documents my game Fallout. Okay, so documents my game.
We're having a great time.
Fallout 4.
Fantastic. Computers don't like us. And that's okay, because we still respect them and they do hard work so that way they don't rise up in the future. And we don't have to fight them, because we would lose. We would lose against the battle of AI, because humans are not that smart.
They will be named crash report. There are no crash reports. What the fuck?
No crash reports? That's a
Despite
lie.
how much it's been crashing.
If there's no crash reports, then what's being recorded?
Documents, my game, Fallout 4, Fallout 4 script extender, crash, date and time .log. There is no log called crash.
Oh gosh. Oh boy. Should we regroup while you get that kind of sorted out a bit?
No idea. I have no idea what the problem is. I've got no idea how to see what the problem is, because apparently there is no crash log. So I don't fucking know what to do.
Maybe the omniscient chat knows what to do. Chat, do you know what to do, chat? Chat would know. They might or may not know.
No, they probably don't know.
It was worth a try. Well, we could play something else while, while we stream. Want to play Batman?
I think you're uninstalled Batman.
Okay. How about the train game?
I'll just play Subnautica.
Okay.
I love how for an entire hour, I've just basically been crashing that game.
For an hour and 18 minutes. Man, it looks so cool too, man. So anyway, Subnautica with the face huggers. Going under the ocean. So what are the face hugger guys called?
Face huggers.
Oh, they're just called face huggers. Okay.
Well, in Alien, I don't know what you're talking about with this.
They basically hug the front of the ship and mess you up.
What?
They're like Reapers or something like that.
Oh, Reaper Leviathans.
Reaper Leviathans. There you go. Tyler Preston. Oh, have you seen or read Claymore? It's Berserk, but with women slaying demons. I have seen a bit of Claymore, and believe it or not, it didn't appeal to me for some reason. Like, I really wanted to like Claymore. I wanted to like it a lot. Rocky's an annoying little shit, though. I can't get over his character. He's annoying at the beginning, and just I will say Teresa is the best girl, though. Teresa is one of my most favorite female anime characters of all time, even though I haven't seen all of Claymore. I think I should try again with Claymore. I just lost my patience with it for some reason. It's just one of those things where it's like you want to like it. You want to like it so bad, but there's something that's getting in the way, you know? Have you ever had that, Shiny? Where it's like you want to like something, but like there's just something that's just like, I just can't, you know?
What was it called? Fuck. I'm sure it's annoying me now that it's on the tip of my tongue. I had a real big problem trying to enjoy Across the Spider-Verse. Like, for some reason, that it just didn't gel with me for some reason. I was not enjoying myself at all through that film. Part of it might be that I had issues with it, or another part of might be, I don't know, like, I genuinely felt really queasy while watching it. Like, I felt really sick. And it might have been because of all the flashing lights and the cinematography, but I just felt really queasy.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Like, it's rare that I'll feel sick while watching a film. Like, I'm not someone that is amazingly epileptic, but for whatever reason, it was making me feel sick.
Yeah, I get you. I feel like there were a lot of cool moments in Spider-Verse, and then there were some parts where it got kind of slow. Not slow.
Well, one of the issues is that it's a bit of a behind-the-scenes mess, where it wasn't very well planned out, and there's many changes being made deep into production, so that as the entire story would change, it all of a sudden didn't make as much sense. So, for example, the entire first act of the story was rewritten.
Oh, I didn't know.
So there's a literal point that you can still kind of see in the final film. So the whole part at the beginning with Spot and Spider-Man, Miles Morales, basically causing a civilization to end, right? Indian Spider-Man's dimension. You know how like Spider-Man just kind of quickly forgets that Miles quickly forgets that he caused an extinction for an entire like he's potentially caused a genocide. You know how he like kind of forgets about that part because the way that he reacts to what he's being told is that there's no reason or there's no way you can possibly tell that this is what happens when he's seen for himself that. Like, oh, if you do this when someone's supposed to die, that means that the entire world goes fucked. And like he doesn't seem to have any like feel bad about it. The moment he goes to Spider HQ is like, wow, Spider HQ, this is so cool, and immediately forgets about Indian Spider-Man's dimension.
It did kind of rush through some things, didn't it?
But I'll tell you why that is. Because the moment they have the meeting, there's a cut in the conversation where it's really jarring, and I noticed it the first time watching it, where the discussion like changes a neck so much it gave me narrative whiplash.
The tone changed really quickly.
No, not the tone change. Literally, the conversation, mid-conversation, it changes topic. Like, it is a completely different discussion. And that is my theory as to where the seam is from the original draft of Across the Spider-Verse. So the later part of the story is the old stuff, and the new part of the story is the new stuff. Like the whole stuff with Spider-Gwen and her father was not part of the original story. That was a late addition, which is why it also feels very tacked on. And stylistically, it's very different.
Interesting. Yeah. I see what you mean. That's something you could sense with the writing. That's pretty cool. I didn't really sense that, to be quite honest. I was just there for the ride, and I'm like, this is just a different way of storytelling. But, you know, I guess there wasn't enough cohesion going on. Celestial Falcon says, I know exactly what you mean, Shiny. The first third went so crazy with the colors and animation that I felt like I was being given epilepsy. Also, I just couldn't get hooked into it for the first third. Yeah.
Okay, so it turns out I am going in work tomorrow.
Oh boy, that's fun. I really liked. I honestly liked the second Spider-Verse, but not as much as I liked the first.
Yeah, I
You know what I
love
mean?
the first one.
Yeah, the first one was friggin' awesome. It was tied together with a little bow. But I feel like maybe my brain's making excuses for this second movie because I know there's going to be a continuation for it. That I
Yeah.
feel like that's
Well,
the only way
I
I'm
feel like it's Force Awakens syndrome, where because a theoretical second film could change everything, a lot of people kind of use that as like, oh, the next film will be this and it'll fix all the problems and yada yada yada, sort of like a hand wave, when there's a lot of
it's like a
problems
crutch.
that I don't think that this. Well, you can say, okay, well, it doesn't really make sense why this, that, and that happens, but then they can go, oh, but maybe the second film will like fix that and it'll make sense. Like maybe Miguel's lying, etc., etc., etc. But the problem is that this theoretical second film might not fix the issues anyway.
Right.
Yeah? Like you're going purely off a hypothetical that, oh, in the film it could fix this problem, and I'll agree it could, but okay, we encounter this problem with like Brexit, where the moment anyone brought up any problem that might happen with Brexit, the excuse was, "Oh no, we'll deal with it. We'll sort that out." And then what actually came to fucking Brexit? It's like, oh, we didn't actually fix these issues. Because you can go out and you can say, "Oh, we'll make a special trade deal, and that'll fix our issues with our trade deficit." I was like, "Yeah, well, it's easier said than done just to make a trade deal, right?"
I see.
You don't
And that's
just
why your
trade
brain
deal
kind of-
vanish or like become the. So you can't just base everything on a hypothetical perfect sequel.
Right.
All of the problems will be magically fixed by whatever's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, like, what's that secret sauce that makes a narrative so literally tight? You know what I mean? That it's just it's
Well, there
the
isn't
third season
one.
of
There isn't one way to make a story good. Like the secret's kind of contextual based on what you're trying to make. Like narratively, there's like, okay, let's say you want to make a good funny comedy, but there is like there's tons and tons of ways to make a comedy, right? There are comedies in which it's entirely engineered just to tell a joke, which is I don't know, your Family Guy.
Yeah.
The narrative situation of Family Guy literally doesn't matter other than as a way to sell a joke to you. But then you get some more grounded comedies called like the Wrong Men, and the Wrong Men are like very serious in the terms of consequences that happen, because they're in the middle of a fucking criminal conspiracy, and the funny parts comes from the fact that there's realistic people reacting to insane criminal shit happening around them.
Yeah.
Like when a horrible, brutal car crash dies, the comedic of the moment is the fact that you're seeing someone react to a horrible car crash. Like, what the fuck's happened here? Because, like, how would you react to just a car crash that happened?
I would not react for too long, and then just like numbly, just like reel, just like what happened, you know?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what happens there, and the realism of the reaction is part of the comedy. So you then have two opposite extremes of a much more serious comedy and a much less serious comedy. So that like whatever solutions that you come up with, they're going to be entirely separate. Or there's somewhat more of a half serious like sitcom, like Black Books, for example, where it's not just telling a joke, but the serialized narrative doesn't even matter that much. It's still kind of trying to be funny, but there's a bit more of a narrative behind those jokes. Because
Right.
let's say one episode will be about this particular topic where Manny has a man crush on this explorer guy
Mm-hmm.
who goes all the things. And then all the jokes will be engineered around that narrative. But when you look at something like Family Guy, while it has a little narrative story, it's more based towards random funny laugh. Like it's the cutaway gags, for example.
Cutaway gags, yeah.
Like it's got nothing to do with the narrative. It's not even tied in. It's barely having to do with it. But it will. So it's hard to say that's the same thing as like when you look at Black Books and you see that there's a lot of jokes framed around the narrative rather than just whatever jokes they want to do in that moment.
Right. It's more situational comedy rather than
Yes.
like cutaway gag. Like I guess everyone kind of like a lot of comedies have their own flavor of comedy,
Well,
right?
My theory is that when you see a ton of really uninspired comedies, like I don't know, Paradise PD, there's a lot of really dumbass people that are like that. I'm going to just randomly insult people. And things about Paradise PD is that despite the fact, well, it's trying to be like a Family Guy clone, because I think that when people watch something, I think that there's something in terms of that they take away without realizing from what they expect from a comedy, right? So that they think, okay, what is a cartoon comedy? And they'll immediately think of Family Guy or Simpsons or Rick and Morty. So subconsciously, that's what they'll make.
Oh.
Or if
So
there's a sick, because that's what they know. That, yeah, that
In a
they
way.
act. Either I think there's probably two reasons for this. It's probably because it's a subconscious thing, where that's what they see sitcoms as. That they think, oh, it has to be like a Friends, or it has to be like a something else that already exists that they kind of rip off. But it's also probably a selling it to a company thing, because all companies will look at something successful and they'll be like, we need that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like when you see the success of Rick and Morty, the reason why there are tons and tons of Rick and Morty clones that look very similar to the show is probably because they were pitched as, hey, so you know how Rick and Morty is really popular currently? What if we just did that?
Right. And even like the Daily Wire did it. That's another example of a company doing it. They made a comedy, an animated comedy called Mr. Bircham. Have you seen it?
I've seen clips for it.
Yeah, clips.
At least it looks better than Old Norm.
Oh, the new norm.
That's it.
Yeah. Does it? I think they look equally bad, to be quite honest.
They're both pretty shit, but like Mr. Bircham didn't have I'm sorry about that. Mr. Bircham didn't have a fucking AI generated mini episode posted to Twitter trying to suck Elon Musk's dick.
I know. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking the exact same thing when I saw like all of the Elon Musk stuff trying to get his attention. Hey, Elon, check this out. Hey, Elon, look at this. This is the first animated sitcom on X. It's like the South Park of
The fact that they call it X and not Twitter is like very kind of obvious. The fact that it's trying to get Elon's attention.
Yeah.
'Cause even Elon doesn't like the fact that people call it Twitter still.
Yeah. I like how he's
It's
not
such an
giving it
easier
attention,
name.
though.
It's more identifiable and it's simple. Why the fuck would you go to something more complex? Oh, not like more forgettable and like doesn't stand out at all.
Oh yeah. CLS says, "What's up? What's up, CLS? Good to see you." Tyler Preston says, "The only Rick and Morty clone I've ever seen was the Inside Job, but it felt more like Futurama from how it played out." I heard Inside Job was actually pretty good. I want to see Inside Job. I heard it got canceled unfairly because like
a lot of
Netflix.
a lot of Netflix shows.
Yeah.
Like I think that what's happened with Netflix is really interesting.
What do you mean?
Because it's quite fascinating in how the media landscape has kind of changed. So at first, as far as I'm aware, Netflix wasn't the first streaming service, but it was the first mainstream streaming service. If I remember service correctly, the first streaming service was iPlayer, but the BBC did absolutely fuck all with it.
Yep.
Like for the longest time, all they used it for was uploading the latest episodes of their shows so that people could watch it on demand, but never thought of expanding it outside of the UK until, everyone had already made their own streaming services in America, and then they kind of like go asleep at the wheel for that.
Oh yeah.
And then when they try to make their own streaming service, partnering with ITV and some other British corporations, the BritBox, they didn't at all attempt to market it. So there was no, as far as I'm aware, there was no new shows being made for BritBox. It was all old stuff trying to be packaged in it. In fairness, I tend to watch streaming services for old things, but like you need new things to try and attract people. It gets people's attention. There's a reason why Arcane is a fantastic example, because it is a huge advertisement, not only for League of Legends, but also for Netflix. Because people will talk about a hot new show. They're like, "Oh, I saw Arcane. It's on Netflix. Oh, cool. What's it about?" Oh, it's about these two sisters who are they get divided at a young age, and then they evolve differently, and there's the big terrorist plot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets people interested, and that makes people go watch it. So there is an important element there, and BritBox just half-assed it. That they put a bunch of content on, barely advertised it, and just said, "All right, here you go. Here's your streaming service," and no one bought it.
But yeah, there was something I wanted to mention about when we were talking about comedies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Mr. Bertram actually has cutaway gags?
I didn't know that, because I've never seen Mr. Bertram other than that one advertisement. Look quite crap.
Yeah. So there were, there was either one or a couple of cutaway gags, and basically he was like, "Oh, it's as useless as a vegan, a wolf that's a vegan," and then it cuts away to like a bunch of wolves in the desert. A bunch of wolves in the forest, and they just like killed something, and they look at the other guy and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm vegan," and then they eat that wolf, and it's like, and it cuts back, and it's like, wow, they just did a cheap cutaway gag for no reason.
The funny thing is that for a bunch of people have been complaining about politics being a biased aspect of media for a long time. The moment some of these people get their own opportunity to make their own crap, they just do the exact same in the opposite direction, and that's kind of hilarious to me.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely hilarious. Oh, the leftists, like, they're forcing their agenda in our entertainment. Yeah, let's make a show that just laughs about woke garbage and do nothing more with it.
Haha, there's someone that has this You know when you watch a late night show, and like the joke is, haha, this person is like politically bad, and then everyone laughs. That is essentially what Mr. Bertram is. Like, it's the exact same comedy style of people laugh because they agree with the politics. That's all it is. It's like watching it's like watching John Oliver.
Or it's like watching that one Roseanne Barr comedy. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. I actually know people who are like, "Oh, it was good actually." No, it was not. Basically, Roseanne Barr is like this old ass woman now. But she did a comedy special, and she was like, "What's my gender? What's my gender? How about get a job?" And then everyone would laugh. Ha 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 ha. She's like,
is that supposed to be a joke?
Woman? Yeah. And she's like, "What is a woman? A woman is me. I didn't carry 5 ungrateful kids for 9 months just to not be a woman." And then everybody laughed. It was so bad. It was so bad.
You can't force comedy. Like, okay, You can have some comedic jokes that are funny and political, but the thing is, you can't force your politics into jokes, because it starts being like when you have a story and you want to lead it into a narrative, it becomes really forced and unnatural, and it pulls people out of the story, because you're not you're trying to tell a good story. You're just trying to say, oh, climate change bad. So, okay, do you have any interesting ideas or thoughts or anything that goes deeper into the idea of climate change? Climate change bad. It's like, okay, well, thanks for that input. And it doesn't really give you a fulfilling story. The message isn't particularly interesting, and that's all it is. It's the same with comedy. Like, it's like, oh yeah, this person is a racist. It's like, yeah, racism is bad. I agree with you, but tell me a joke.
Tell the joke.
Right? Tell me
line.
something funny.
Yeah, there's a line between irony and being preachy. You know.
Yeah, you can't just going up on a stage and spouting your politics isn't comedy. Like you can, okay. My favorite political comedian, at least quite a while ago, haven't seen him recently, is Russell Howard, because generally a lot of the jokes aren't just "I'm going to beat you over the head with my politics." A lot of them are generally quite funny, even if I don't agree with them.
Yeah, like you showed me a couple of Russell Howard bits. CLS wants to know if the cat's still alive. It's kind of dead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they all kind of died after having to wait for me to fix the game. But with Russell Howard, like he tends to just kind of make the positions a bit more extreme and comedic that he reads. So there's a lot more honesty in his comedy, and what I mean by that is that there's like he's often parodying or taking the piss out of things which are kind of weird and insane. Like if you have a guy who goes up on stage and say, "Oh yeah, this Ebola would hate it here at the UK. You know, it would go to somewhere else." And Russell Howard takes the piss out of it. Like, of course, yeah, Ebola would go to Morocco. I hear it's nice there that time of year. Like, he's taking the piss out of something that's actually being said and taking it to its natural extreme.
Oh yeah. Was he the one that was like the ass spaghetti? He ate spaghetti ass. What was it? I forgot.
It was he was reacting to an online video that went viral, and it was what if they get Ebola ass in the spaghetti?
Oh, that's right. I remember. Oh man. Celestial Falcon says the only comedian
they came into contact with 80 people. 80 people. Do you know how much that is? That's 240s, you son of a bitch.
Celestial Falcon says the only comedian I've seen that I think can do political comedy funny is Dave Landau. Never heard of him, but I'll check him out. He also doesn't make it his main thing. He does things from his childhood in Detroit, and he has a lot of funny stories. Oh yeah, people with a lot of traumatizing stories can be comedians. Some of the best comedians have really messed up childhood. Bill Burr.
I'm trying to remember. There's like a British comedian who pretends to be a news reporter for his skits, and I can't remember from life of me his name. And I actually kind of like him.
I don't know why I was thinking Philomena Kunk, even though you're saying he. I kind of like Philomena Kunk. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't like. I know it's an act, but her act just kind of irritates me. Like I genuinely don't like that kind of person in real life, and then to have to watch, it's like
what
cringe comedy. I don't like cringe comedy because I don't laugh at it. I just internally cringe.
What, that you don't like that deadpan delivery?
No, it's not deadpan delivery. It's like when the whole joke is that someone's doing or saying something cringe. I don't find that funny. I just cringe internally, and I don't like the feeling of cringing.
No? There was one joke that stuck with me that was like, America is the land of the free, which came as a surprise to the African slaves.
That's a pretty good one.
I love it. Yeah, that was a good one. So yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. There's a certain kind of cringe comedy that I can't stand. I've watched The Office, right? In The Office US. People in the United States love The Office US. I don't know why. There was just things about it that just grinded me so hard. I hated it. For example, like they have, it's a mockumentary. You know what a mockumentary is?
I know what a mockumentary is. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had like this whole plot and everything, but Michael Scott is such a dick to everybody. Like he's the worst person, and he's annoyingly awkward. It's not awkward. To me, it's not awkward in a funny way. It's awkward in a he's a nuisance kind of way. You know what I mean? Like he'll inconvenience everybody for his own ego. And it's like that's kind of played up for comedy. He just comes off as a dick than funny. And then second of all, the Office relationships, I fucking hated the Office relationships because they kept doing this thing where characters would cheat, but they're cheating with the right person. So we're supposed to feel like it's fine. And they did this like 3 times. It was annoying. Didn't like it. So, for instance, like the main couple, like Pam and Jim, Pam was with another guy, but then it was revealed that the other guy had like severe anger issues. And then she ends up cheating with Jim. But like because Jim is like the cool guy, he's very chill. You know, she ends up cheating with Jim. Of course, her ex loses it, and then that just like gets her to break up with him finally. But just because that doesn't excuse the cheating.
I don't know. I think if someone's a piece of shit to you, then I think cheating's pretty valid.
Yeah.
I think if anything, just fucking break up with them. But at the same time,
break up.
I'm not. It's like when you say like someone killed a pedophile. It's like, yeah, in theory you shouldn't kill, but you killed a pedophile, so who really gives a shit?
Yeah, where's the crime? I can excuse that, I guess.
Yeah, like, if someone's genuinely just a horrible person, if something horrible happens to them, it's a bit like, you know, no harm, no foul. If they're a piece of shit, then who cares?
Yeah, like they're a cute couple together, but the thing was, like, I couldn't excuse it. It's like, oh, you could cheat, but no, just break up first. Say this is over, and then go. You know, it's only respectful.
You know, something. Oh my goodness!
Oh jeez!
Oh my god!
Jeez!
Okay, I'm backing off. I just saw I saw the shadow. I heard the screams in the distance, and then I just saw the shadow. I was like, "What the hell is that?" Oh my goodness! Oh, hello, Whopper. Hello.
Oh, he's cute.
Uh-oh.
He's creepy, but he's cute.
No, he Whoppers. They're biological killers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why there's a fucking Reaper. I'm at the mountain island.
Detecting massive energy signature.
Oh.
Cannot identify.
Tyler Preston says, you found Jeremy and woke him up from his nap. I forgot what we were talking about. That was crazy.
The idea of cheating if you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, but it's only respectful, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of irony here, if you ask me. Miss, would have been okay if I cheated on you when we first started our relationship.
Oh, I did it because I didn't know better.
Yes, because you didn't know
There's
better.
There's so much context to that. So much context. Too much context. Oh, gosh. I don't know. The Office just didn't rub me the right way. It just rubbed me the wrong way. But Black Books was fun. And the reason why Black Books was fun, even though Bernard Black is a piece of shit, is because the show
The story knew he was a piece of shit.
Exactly. And that made it funny. That made it funny.
Like, if someone's being a piece of shit and they get their comeuppance, that's like good.
Yeah, it's funny. Both Bernard and shoot, what's the girl's name? Like Faye?
What are you getting Faye from? Bran.
Oh, Fran. That's right.
Look,
Fran is
Bray.
also is an awful person, but she pays for it. And then Manny, he only like gets good things because he's kind of dumb. He's not actually a bad guy. He's just not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch.
He's easily taken advantage of.
Yeah. It's like you kind of want to see him get good things. Actually, this morning I was watching the one with the book where they were writing a children's book. I love that episode. It's so funny. It's like, oh, what if it was a mouse and he likes licorice and he plays a trombone? Yes, this is fantastic. What if he have a friend? What does he need? A friend? What if he's a panda? No. Losing his mind. Oh gosh. Celestial Falcon says, gotta grab Din Din laters and have a good non-crashing stream. Later, taters. See you around. But yeah, I love that one. And then when they read the book, here's the elephant. He's having fun with his balloon. He loses the balloon. I forget the exact wording. Is it in the crocodile's mouth? No. Is it what was the other one? I forgot. Is it in the tree? The monkey's got it in the tree. He brings it down, he gives it back, they all drink lemonade. I love that. The end. And then they burn it.
I love how you're not even paying attention to what's happening on screen.
It's a tower. It's a tower. Sorry. I was too involved with they all drink lemonade.
But look.
What's going on?
That's what I'm waiting for you to notice.
You're on land. You're not in ocean.
Yeah, I know, because this is the mountain. It's one of the only two places of land in Subnautica.
Oh.
But like, okay, we landed on an alien planet, and you're not even confused about the giant structure.
I am very confused about the giant structure.
Okay, what could it be?
It's probably alien, because we've had aliens in the ocean. It's got to be aliens up top. We're in for a treat. We're going to see some real messed up aliens. Wait, are we actually on Earth?
No. Yes, look at all this Earth. Yeah, we're all this Earth. This looks like it's from Earth, right? That's from Earth, obviously. And these trees, they look so much like Earth.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I've seen that at Whitby. There you go.
That's a flying mantis. Huh. What are we going to do about the structure? Are we going to go in it?
Oh, we'll come back to it. I need to drop off some crap first. I didn't even know I drifted off this far. Until I ran into the Reaper Leviathan.
I gotcha. We'll be reaching 2
hello,
hours
Walker.
in
I
less
hear
than
you.
10 minutes.
I see a little Whopper down there making his little noises. Anyway, let's keep talking about comedies.
Comedy can be really fun. It could also be very cringe if done incorrectly. Give me 1 second. Keep the chat going for a second.
I really need to find bits for a gravity cannon. Mobile vehicle bay, not what I needed.
I have returned. So yes, comedy. Hyperdrive was a very interesting comedy that you showed me. Because you get it.
Sorry, I'll let you explain.
Okay, because the comedy has a story to it. The comedy isn't fleshed out though. Like the narrative isn't fleshed out, but it's really leaning on like oh, just get distracted by the funny stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I wish, it feels like it could be fleshed out even better, you know?
It's not really a strange concept to have a comedy with a plot.
It's not a strange concept, but just develop the plot more, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot that's missing, that's very obviously missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anybody in the chat has seen a hyperdrive. I recommend checking it out. It's not very good, but like once you notice why it's not good, you actually learn a little something about narrative. That's what I love about like checking out like shows and movies and things that are like not the highest quality, because once you figure out why it's not the highest quality, you know what to do when you work on something yourself.
But it's a shame though, because I think hyperdrive as an idea, as a concept,
Yeah.
it could be really fucking good, because it's taking the idea of, okay, what if we create a sort of like office/naval scenario is like the sitcom aspect, because we've seen it's been like crossing over between Red Dwarf and The Office, because you're kind of going for this sort of like environment that it's a little bit dysfunctional, but in space.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, like, there's a good amount of characters in the story. There just will be full-on characters that just don't have a relationship and they never speak to each other, even though they see each other all the time, which is weird. You know, if you have a cast in real life, that's fine. But if you have a cast of characters and they're supposed to play a specific part in this comedy, they should be able to mesh well together, rather than, oh, these two characters, they talk all the time, but these two characters, they never really talk. They don't have a relationship between them, you know? Or even like, I feel like there were characters that were kind of dead ends, really. Like the woman that does like the opening announcement. Like,
Well,
Holly,
she's not even a character, that's just a joke.
I know it's a joke, but it doesn't really tie in anywhere, really, other than just being a joke.
Attention all crew, today is Bring Your Crew to Work Day. If you don't have a clone, go down to level 5. I fucked up that voice.
Attention all crew. Tyler Preston, is this Hyperdrive show from 2006? Yes. Yes, it is. CLS says, but why is the show bad? It's not bad, all right? There's bad where it's just like, where things are insufferable. The thing about Hyperdrive is that it's underbaked. It's not bad, you know? Something being bad is literally a waste of time. That's how I rate things as being bad or good. If this was a waste of time, it was bad. Now, what do I mean by a waste of time? Let's say they take a couple characters and they establish these characters and they flesh them out, but then they go on and they completely bastardize the characters later on. And basically everything you learned before means absolutely nothing now, in the worst ways possible. That's wasting my time. That's a bad show, right? Something that's mediocre, something that's meh, is a show that has strong elements, but it feels incomplete because there are things they could have done better. So I'll give an example. You know how with Avatar: The Last Airbender, all of the characters have a dynamic to them between every single one of them? That's a great show, right? That's a great show. But when we see another show like Hyperdrive, where there will be characters with absolutely nothing between them, even though they see each other every day, that's underbaked. That's potential that just was not utilized, right? Or, you know, an opening joke, even though this is supposed to be like a narrative sort of, they open it with a joke from like an announcer that has nothing to do with the plot. That's lost potential. It's not a bad show. It's just, it needs work. It's got something there. It could have been something good. It just wasn't there, right? Who here has seen Clone High, right? I think Clone High was fantastic. Shiny and I both watched it together. the comedy in Clone High is so fun, and the narrative is also super fun and interesting in its own like vapid way. It's really fun.
It's an interesting take on a story that's very obviously designed purely to deliver jokes. So
Right.
it's sort of similar to Family Guy in a sense, but it can do that. That's a bit more character driven than just randomly cutting away to a joke. Like as far as I remember, Clone High has no cutaway jokes. It is simply just the comedy comes from the characters reacting to certain situations.
Oh yeah.
And like they're often playing on tropes and stereotypes and sort of media which what was going on at the time, like the drug PSAs.
Right. It never really took itself seriously. But in the sequel, the reboot, I don't consider it a second season. It's not a second season. In the reboot, they basically took everything too seriously. Everything that Clone High was, it just wasn't anymore. And it felt like a waste of time, right? So the first show was basically a spoof, a satire of teen dramas, essentially. They took the things of teen dramas that made them kind of dumb, and then they just pushed it so far that it just became hilarious, right? But in the new Clone High, it didn't do that. It took itself too seriously, and it lost its own identity of what it was, right? So that satirical nature is ultimately lost, unfortunately. And that's how Clone High just ultimately became unfun, because what we came there for was not what we left with, unfortunately. So it was a waste of time. That's what made it bad. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Shiny? What do you think of my criteria of what's bad versus what's okay? Were you listening?
I was listening. I just think of things a bit different, I suppose. I view good and bad as more relative.
Relative, okay.
Like I don't necessarily view things good or bad based on how much you get out of it. It's more bad based on the specific context that it exists in. Like
Can you elaborate?
You can very obviously have a I don't know, Terminator 3, based on a lot of attributes, or how about the Terminator Salvation? Like you'd call Terminator, you've never seen Terminator Salvation. Okay, what's a film that you would know? Okay. Okay, Love and Monsters. Remember the story with you dabble with aliens, now meet the genuine article.
That's right. Yep, I remember that
Okay,
episode.
Love and Monsters. Love and Monsters is a bad episode, but if you compare that to the Doctor siding with Space Amazon over a guy being pretty pissed off that, everyone's being replaced by automation, like that story is like bad in its own unique way. And it's way worse. It makes Love and Monsters like a fucking masterpiece.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I mean by bad is very relative. It's highly dependent on what standards you are using in that particular moment. And a part of the discussion of media is to basically come to the conclusion of, well, what's the best criteria to use?
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So when we go into this, it's like, okay, well, I think this criteria should apply, and you'll say, maybe, I don't know, I disagree, I don't think this is relevant. Like, for example, maybe if I watch, let's say I watch How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm a huge fan of the How to Train Your Dragon books, but How to Train Your Dragon is a terrible adaptation because it basically shares nothing with the book other than the name and the name of the certain characters.
Oh, I see.
Like genuinely, all of everything has changed. But at the same time, the story's good. But if you're measuring it through the lens of purely just as an adaptation, you're gonna think, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay. But if you just watch the movies by itself, your only frame of reference is the
Yeah,
movie,
but
so it can be
to
considered pretty good.
but
While
the
to another
discussion
person that's read the
is
books, it's considered pretty bad.
is it relevant as an adaptation? Like, so it should the description around it being an adaptation be relevant? Because it's not like, let's say, The Hobbit. The Hobbit is trying to be a very direct adaptation of the Hobbit book,
Mm-hmm.
but it does it very poorly. That the discussion of that being an adaptation is very relevant, but because How to Train Your Dragon is basically an entirely original story, the discussion of it being a adaptation is kind of irrelevant.
I see. Okay, so it is kind of relative. It depends on what
Yeah,
your
it is relative, and it depends on what kind of criteria you're applying to it. And the discussion should be, well, is this the right criteria to be using for this particular story?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And that's the way I view it.
Yeah, yeah. I see your point of view. And I guess we could all have like a different criteria to what we find relative, right? And what we
Mhm.
value. Me,
Yeah.
I value the story on its own. But if there's like other things to compare it to, then that would sway how I think about the narrative, wouldn't it?
I think one discussion that I'm very much for. A lot of people have the position that you should judge a story entirely based on its own merits. I disagree with that premise on many occasions, because stories don't exist outside of the context that they exist in by themselves. So, say for example, if someone literally just ripped off the plot of Star Wars and then made their own story, as a story, that, you know, if you only view it by itself, it's oh, this seems like quite a creative story and things might be pretty interesting. But if you include the context, it's highly derivative of someone else's work, which I think is very important to discuss. So, let's say if we're talking about Star Trek, New Strange New Worlds, there are many things that Star Trek Strange New Worlds does that is not aligned with the original Star Trek TV show.
Yes.
Like, some technologies are purely just too advanced, or some plots just don't really make any sense to align with something that's supposed to be a few years previously.
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean.
Like the context outside of that Star Trek Strange New Worlds is very important, at least I believe so, to the discussion, because it's trying to be a prequel to the original series. So you can't just ignore that information. You have to take it into account.
Right, and that's what makes it bad to your opinion, or objectively bad.
It's not such something that is bad. It goes either way. It's something which should be taken into account.
I see.
Like, you can't always just judge things on their own merits, because there are elements relevant to the discussion outside of just the story, which either can be lore, it can be continuity, it can be adaptation, it can be like the context of something is highly derivative of someone else's work.
What about, like, say, imagine, like, you and I are Doctor Who fans, or at least 2005 Doctor Who to like a certain period.
Revival Who, yeah.
Yeah, Revival Doctor Who. But we knew somebody who was actually diehard fan of the Doctor Who in the 60s. And then they look at the Revival and it's like, ugh, that's not Doctor Who. That's not what I know.
Brother
Brother but yeah, they could basically look at our thing and be like, ew, that's modern, that has elements that I just don't recognize anymore. So it's bad. You mean something like that, kind of?
Sorry, repeat the question, because it got a little muddled.
It did kind of get muddled. I'm kind of getting lost in my own asking. So, you know how we'll look at the things that we grew up with and we're like, oh, this is great. And then we'll look at the new stuff and we're like, oh, this is garbage.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't it be an argument for someone who, say, grew up with the old Doctor Who to look at the Doctor Who that we love and be like, oh, this is garbage?
That would be not an issue of meta. It would be an issue of nostalgia, possibly.
Elaborate.
Okay, so if you grew up with a show and you're very nostalgic for it, that is an emotional bias, rather than which tints the way that you look at it, rather than, or at least in theory, it depends on the person. Maybe they do have a real good reason for hating Eccleston's Doctor. But nostalgia is not meta so much; it is just a bias that is existing. So it's not. I don't find there's no discussion because it's purely just your experience. There's nothing objective to it. If you're talking about meta contexts, such as something else being derivative of someone else's work, or continuity, or lore that doesn't mesh well together, then that is something that is a lot more objective because you're talking about facts. You're comparing numbers and stuff like that. You can very obviously say, hey, look, so over here, so this establishes the Vulcan as one way, and what you're doing over here doesn't make sense with what you're doing previously.
Mm-hmm.
That is not talking about your emotional response. That is purely talking about the facts in the story, and you can be wrong. The stance that you can take can be inaccurate, but you're still trying to talk about the facts of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see.
If you are simply just have an emotional response to something, that is not talking about the facts of the situation. That is you just saying, I had this emotional reaction.
9 new biological subjects
Hello.
designated. Mode. Hunting. Analyzing. Sharing subject locations with other agents.
That thing sounds hungry. The radio sounds like it's going to eat you.
Okay. All right, dude.
So there's story facts in which it'll mess up with the continuity and mess up with the story itself.
I think people confuse the idea of objective and subjective constantly. And the thing is, what is objective and subjective is highly relative.
Mm-hmm.
And using that word again, because in terms of any, so you can say that a medical opinion is subjective because it is based purely off the experiences and the knowledge of that individual doctor. It is not factual. It is their own subjective opinion. But at the same time, that medical opinion is not going to be based on arbitrary things. It's going to be based on their knowledge and experiences. It's going to be based on facts, which also makes it objective. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is an example of something which is both objective and subjective, because it is relative. But obviously, when you look at something like an emotion, emotions are often purely subjective. Like, you can like something just because that's your own personal experiences. It doesn't have to be based on anything else more than that.
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean. CLS says that he has to go. Have a good stream, he says. All right, have a good one, CLS. Tyler Preston says, Clone High was fantastic. Too bad it only lasted one season.
Yeah, too bad.
There is no second season of Clone High. There is no reboot of Clone High.
To be objective when talking about film, I think my criteria is just talk about what's in the actual story. I don't want to hear about your emotions because, quite frankly, that's not relevant. Audience responses is one thing you couldn't talk about because while it is their subjective reaction, you're also talking about a cause and effect. Like it's more like looking at a correlation. Whereas, if you get a reaction where lots of people don't like something, it's correlation, not causation. It's a possible connection, but it's not quite provable. So it's worth looking in that area. If lots of people had this reaction to something, there's got to be a common cause.
Mm-hmm.
But just the reaction itself, it's like I don't think you can just say, I liked it, therefore it's good. That's not an argument.
Right, that's not an argument. I didn't like it, therefore it's bad.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question. You know how the latest Doctor Who took the concept of the Doctor's daughter and ruined it?
You mean the story of the Doctor's daughter?
Yeah.
Or the... Okay, yeah. Or are you talking about his granddaughter?
Or the granddaughter. Yeah, that's right. That's right. What would you classify that as?
I suppose in part it's a continuity error, and in another part it's a retcon.
Oh.
So what? It also just doesn't really make much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the Doctor, so if we believe the story, and he says that he hasn't yet had kids, then that opens up questions about he always would have known that he has a future.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, it's a paradox. If you have a grandchildren come back in time, and you haven't had your children yet, you know in that moment that you can't die.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it also so for example, the episode with the Doctor's daughter, where it's the clone, right? You remember that with Martha and Donna?
Yes.
And I think it was Jenny. What's I don't remember. I can't remember the actress name. David Tennant's wife.
David Tennant's wife. Yep.
It's made very clear that he struggles to look at her because when he used to have a family, and he used to have kids, he used to have a wife, used to have grandkids, and that's a very big point that's mentioned quite a few times, especially around David Tennant's era. And every time he looks at Jenny, he struggles to reconcile that. Like it's easy to ignore when you're not having to face a reminder all the time, and that leads to him treating her a little badly because he just straight up rejects her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really good character work. It's fantastic. It's despite the episode having quite a few issues, the emotional core of the episode is actually pretty tight.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. But when you take that and you just kind of retcon it and you say that he hasn't had kids yet, that is basically... It doesn't make any sense anymore because all of a sudden the Doctor hasn't had that loss. He hasn't lost his kids. He hasn't lost his family. So it ironically takes away from what Russell T Davies already established.
Yeah, the same writer taking away what he already established. That's crazy.
So yeah, a retcon and that.
Or could it be because the new Doctor Who is gay? Could have been that.
I don't think that has anything to do with that decision. I think it's interesting, at least on the surface level, the idea of a time traveler meeting his grandchildren and then going on adventures with them. But yeah. I think it takes away part. Like if they wanted to do that, they should have done that way earlier on, before they established all this emotional baggage that he has with his family that he's lost.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Doctor Who is such a cool spectacle of storytelling, you know? There's the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is very unique. Very, very, very unique.
It's very much a problem of the week format, but at the same time, it's a very unique in how it does it. So, like the way I establish a problem of the week format is that you land on the civilization and planet and there's a problem and you've got to fix it. That's pretty much what our problem of the week is, and you see that in Star Trek, you see that in Stargate. It's a very common science fiction TV show format to just find yourself in a place and then you have to fix whatever problem they're having,
Right.
but it gives itself its own little unique spin. I think it might even predate Star Trek, ironically, where the Doctor has his own little box and he has infinite regenerations and his own little laws and creatures. Interestingly, a lot of Doctor Who villains, especially old Doctor Who villains, have a philosophical aspect to them.
They do.
So, for example, the idea of the Cybermen is the idea of the outcome of survival at any cost. Like if you do nothing but throw robotic parts on you just to survive a barren landscape, you survived, but at what cost have you survived?
Right. That's really fun.
And the Daleks, similarly, are essentially the evolution of war, that it has created the ultimate hating killing machine because it was created by a bunch of space Nazis.
Uh-huh.
The Khalid race.
It's always
So
it keeps it fun. It keeps it fresh,
Yeah, but these philosophical ideas often give it a bit more meaning than just being a bad guy of the week, which I think Doctor Who's kind of fell into a lot more. Even with the Cybermen, they're just kind of considered to be robots now, which is like I hate. Even Russell T Davies did this to a degree, where the Cybermen are just kind of like generic robot of the week to fight rather than being a philosophical enemy.
Yeah.
Like there's not any kind of horror aspect. Like the Age of Steel, it does it really well because it's while not being for the survival of everyone, it's the survival of one man, and it kind of links it with the idea of technological evolution as well. Because obviously, since the 60s, there's been a lot of changes with technology, so it starts to integrate the idea of the corporate tech businesses.
Right. Yeah.
Remember that humans
It brings in a lot of fun philosophical questions to keep it feeling fresh.
vital signs.
Yeah.
Recognizing.
I'll say there's a lot of one thing that I also really love about the Russell T Davies era is that, especially like season 1 and 2, is that there's a lot more character work going on.
Oh yeah.
So the reason why I think a lot of people accept the destruction of Gallifrey when they watch the revival era is because the arc is done with a lot of strength.
Mm-hmm.
So we're introduced to the Doctor. Oh, what do you mean? What do I mean?
A lot. You were gonna explain with a lot of strength.
The story's good, really fucking good. That's why. Like,
oh yeah.
So let's say you watch. I don't know. What's your favorite show?
What's my favorite show? Oh man, you put me on the spot.
Okay, how about this? Okay, Arcane. So you watch season 2 of Arcane, and so it's let's say that the first season ended and we never got a sequel to it, and then the next thing we know, there's a reboot of Arcane that's done 20 years later, and what happens is that off screen, Piltover's been completely destroyed. That is almost like an equivalent, and I think a lot of people now, at least that kind of aspect, things happening off screen, people tend to have a very harsh reaction to them.
Oh, absolutely, especially if it's something
because it never happened on screen. You don't see it, and you might like Piltover. There's quite a lot of interesting things that there's been done with Piltover. So to have it destroyed off screen seems a little insulting.
Yeah.
But the way that it's revealed is actually revealed very strongly. So you first hear about it in The End of the World, where the Rose keeps asking where the Doctor's from, but he has a very harsh reaction to it. Like he dodges questions, and when Rose continues to push, like, where are you from? Fucking tell me. I've just run away with this random stranger. Like, you don't even know who the fuck you are. There's a lot of healthy skepticism from her, from someone that just ran away from home with a guy in a strange box.
Ah, yeah.
But the Doctor, as she pushes more, the more it kind of digs into that pain, and we don't really know why. He just kind of goes, "Look, it doesn't matter where I'm from. Like, this is now, this is who I am. I'm here and now. Like, shut the fuck up." and Rose realizes that she's hit on a bit of a sore spot, so she kind of backs down.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the episode, after we've seen Earth get destroyed, there's that little reveal of the Doctor telling Rose that he lost everyone he's ever known and loved because there was a war and they were gone. And that's the first time we hear about that. And after that, we go to the Dalek episode. I might not be straight away. I can't. There might be an episode in it, but the main serialized arc of the first season, like the next relevant part, is Dalek.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the ghosts of the Rift, kind of the Gelf. I think that's the next episode, but I don't think there's anything relevant necessarily in there. Maybe a bit of teasing for what happened with the Doctor in his past.
Mm-hmm.
But then we see that episode Dalek, in which we see the pain that the Doctor has for the Daleks because of what they've done to him. You know, like the Time Lords and the Daleks were both wiped out, so that's a very harsh memory for him to go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
To then see all the Daleks have essentially come back, and he's like, I almost thought like destroying this my own race was worth it, and it's like now they all died for nothing. It's like shit. That's pretty hard.
That hurts. That shit hurts.
The strength of season 1 manages to get it by because there's a lot more character work that kind of justifies it. If they did nothing with it, it's a lot more like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
Okay, compare this to Ahsoka, the Ahsoka show. We learned that Sabine's parents died off screen, but she no longer has any pain for that. Like, they say that she was vengeful for her parents' death towards the Empire, and that was the reason why she stopped training as a Jedi.
They said she was vengeful, but they didn't show that she was.
They didn't show it, so there's no kind of response for the audience to gauge from what's happened.
It's kind of interesting how characters will say something about another character and it turns out to kind of be a lie when it comes to showing it.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
Like there's no character work that's done in the reveal that her parents died. It's mentioned offhandedly in the final episode.
Yeah.
Which should be really fucking insulting.
All right. Tyler Preston says, wasn't his granddaughter one of the Doctor's first companions from the 1960s?
Yes, she was.
That's kind of cute.
It is interesting how that's done. And the weird thing is that Susan has been pretty much forgotten by Doctor Who until recently.
Oh.
And that is insane. It's like, what? So, like, I want to think 30, 50 years? Probably about 54 years that Susan has just been entirely ignored. Which you think would be a pretty, like, this is his granddaughter. Like, why hasn't he gone back to visit her?
Right. How could he forget?
Because we know where he left her, and we know who he left her with. So, and he said that he would return, and then he just never does.
Yeah. Is the actress still alive?
And I don't know. I don't think so. She was young at the time, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the latest season just tickled our fucking balls constantly.
Tickled the balls a little bit.
It's like, but I was over there. I was that, and I was with my granddaughter. It's like, you have a granddaughter? It's like, oh, Russell's tickling those balls of seeing Susan.
The balls.
And then there's a lot of teasing when it comes to the whole reveal, and then it's, oh no, it wasn't Susan, it was Sutekh.
What? Sutekh?
Yeah, Sutekh is a Doctor Who villain who was in, I think, the Tom Baker era, and basically he's the Egyptian god of death. He's Apophis, but he's called Sutekh.
Interesting.
And if I remember correctly, because I've never seen the episode, the way that he's defeated is that he's thrown into the time vortex and he ages to death. But the twist is that he's actually been sitting on the TARDIS for the last 900 years.
Okay. And he's done nothing all
That's a lot of time. Like there's the Doctor has gone through the Time War. The TARDIS has been destroyed twice. It has become a fucking star. It has exploded and destroyed the universe. It's been thrown into another star.
It's become a person.
It's become a person. There's so many things that has happened to this TARDIS over the last 900 years since the Tom Baker era. And yet, like, fucking, I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems very strange that all that time that Sutek has been clutching onto the TARDIS, that he would have been revealed by something. I would have thought, okay, maybe this is now the time to act. Because, if the universe is ending, maybe he has a stake in that, or maybe he wants to make it go better. I don't know. Like, there'd be some situation that he would see, like, okay, well, why don't I just reveal myself now? Or why don't I just do this? Or oops, I've just been killed by a TARDIS being thrown into a star.
Yeah.
And you know what the solution is to kill Sutek?
What's the solution?
Throw him into the time vortex and let him age to death.
Okay.
So the solution, which didn't work before, now works.
Oh no, I hate that. I don't like that. I don't like continuity problems.
It's like, okay, so this didn't work last time, so why don't we just do the same thing again?
Yeah. I thought I'd let you know, by the way. We're on 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I've got to go to work at 10, so I know
Yep.
we'll probably end soon.
And my laptop's dying, so...
Okay.
And I don't have the plug for it right now. So...
All right, then, we'll finish up.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, everybody, for joining the stream, and we will see you again next time. Bye now.